Well, this is an interesting exercise for the staff. Last year, we were able to go out to the combine and kind of treat it as if we were an MLS team, and how we would do the draft and what we would do at that time of our roster building. This year, the goal really is to learn, speak with MLS staffs and see how they do things, try and pick up ideas, but more importantly is to build relationships, and then pay attention to the players that may or may not get drafted or might be available on loan. Last year was a great example was a player like Tristan Blackman becoming available, Saad Abdul Salam. Both guys that we had seen in years past at combines and drafts, and we were fortunate enough to be able to have them help us out last season. So it's good to go through this process and to see how MLS does things and to interact with their staff, and then also to see quite a few players. And for our guys, our coaches have been doing a lot of time working on this and learning about all the players that are in the draft and in the combine. And so we'll have a real good idea of what the players are like when we get there, and it'll be good to see them in person. Yeah, well, for me, it started back in Tucson, 10 years ago when we were doing the MLS preseason down there, and being able to watch coaches like Jay Heaps and Peter Vermees, the late Siggy Schmid, and getting to know these guys, not just as when I was a player, but now as a friend and as a coach, and to see some of them as mentors. And so going to these events and spending time with them in the evenings and talking to them about how they build their rosters, how they build their culture, the type of community that they're building within their clubs, it gives you an opportunity to learn, and what better scenario to learn and practice from the best in the United States. So for the rest of our staff, hopefully someday we'll be in the MLS and we'll be actually going through this process for real and being involved in the draft, and these guys will have that type of experience. And even for USL clubs, it's good because you get to meet with agents, you get to speak to the players occasionally, and have a presence there, because not all of these players will end up in the MLS. Peter Vermees, a good friend of mine, and I think probably the best piece of advice I got was a couple of years ago, and he said, when you get into this business, just remember to be yourself. You're going to learn a lot from people you work with, and you're going to see good things, you're going to see bad things, but you still have to maintain, being yourself and doing what got you where you are, and being strong, and making decisions and standing behind him, having some conviction, and but most importantly, having integrity as well. So those words I'll never forget from him was, just telling me to be myself, was coming from a guy like that was pretty important to me and inspirational. It's very different this year, and one of the things that's really important to me is culture, what the locker room is like. And we were really fortunate enough last year to have Didier in the locker room, and he was the king of the locker room, and and he really helped build the culture, and it's going to be my role to make sure that it continues. And I've done a lot of research over the holiday break and how we want to play and the style and how we want to implement it, and now it's my opportunity to delegate it to the coaching staff to make sure that things get done the way we want them to be done.